Good day or evening, dear participants. In this first lecture of Module 4, we are going to focus on the effective in-presence teaching and monitoring. My name is Rachel. I am the facilitator of this lecture, assisting Mr. Maurice Nkusi. Let us first introduce this lecture. The tradition of face-to-face teaching has its roots in ancient civilizations, where the transmission of knowledge was often a communal and oral affair. In ancient Greece, for instance, the philosopher Socrates engaged in dialogues with his students in public spaces, shaping the Socratic method of inquiry and discussion that laid the groundwork for Western education according to Kahn, 1996. Similarly, in ancient China, Confucian academies emphasized direct interaction between masters and disciples, fostering a deep, personal mentorship model according to Yao, 2000. These early forms of face-to-face instruction highlighted the importance of direct engagement, dialogue, and personalized mentorship, principles that continue to underpin modern educational practices. Effective face-to-face teaching is a multifaceted approach that emphasizes direct interaction between academics and students. This method adopts a dynamic learning environment where real-time feedback and personalized instruction are paramount. Smith, 2018. The core of effective face-to-face teaching lies in its ability to adapt to the needs of individual learners, thereby enhancing their engagement and comprehension according to Johnson and Taylor, 2019. As mentioned in earlier modules, teaching required quality content, LTM, since it is king in the learning environment. There is a misunderstanding that students can experience quality learning, even if the content is not well structured and complete, vis-a-vis the learning goals and outcomes as stipulated in the curriculum. In addition, the misconception is that if students are in class and the academics provide quality explanation of the content, students will learn effectively. The worst part of such misconception is that there is a belief that if a teacher teaches, absolutely students learn. This is where we observe the teacher-centered delivery approach, which transforms students into passive learners. Monitoring, as an integral part of this approach, involves continuous observation and assessment of students' progress, according to Brown, 2020. This allows educators to identify areas where students may struggle and to provide immediate support or adjustments to the teaching strategy. By maintaining an open line of communication, teachers can encourage active participation and create a supportive atmosphere conducive to learning, according to Williams, 2021. Together, these elements work synergistically to not only impart knowledge, but also to foster critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and a deeper understanding of the subject matter. This holistic approach ensures that education is not just about the transfer of information, but about nurturing the intellectual growth and development of each student, according to Dewey, 1938. By actively engaging with students, teachers can adapt their methods to raise better understanding and retention of information provided to students according to Johnson and Taylor, 2019. Let us look at the benefits of face-to-face teaching. 1. Immediate feedback. Students receive instant feedback on their performance, allowing them to correct mistakes and understand concepts more clearly. 2. Personalized instruction. Teachers can tailor their lessons to meet the varying needs of students, enhancing the overall learning experience. 3. Interactive learning environment. The dynamic nature of face-to-face interactions promotes active participation and engagement, making learning more enjoyable and effective. 4. Building relationships. Strong teacher-student relationships are easier to build, which can lead to increased motivation and better academic outcomes. Disadvantages and limitation of face-to-face teaching. While face-to-face teaching has numerous benefits, it also presents significant disadvantages and limitations, particularly in light of the lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. Addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach that includes investment in infrastructure, flexibility in scheduling, and a commitment to equity and adaptability in educational practices. Smith, 2020, Johnson and Cartwright, 2019, Brown, 2021, Miller, 2018, World Health Organization, 2020. The following are some of the disadvantages. 1. resource-intensive high costs, where the implementation of face-to-face teaching requires significant financial investment in physical infrastructure, such as classrooms, laboratories, and other facilities. This can be a major burden for educational institutions, especially during times of economic strain, according to Smith, 2020. Time and effort is a necessity for both teachers and students, where they are required to expend considerable time and effort to commute to and from the educational institution, which can lead to fatigue and reduced productivity, according to Johnson and Cartwright, 2019. 2. Limited flexibility. Rigid scheduling is a constraint where students and academics must be physically present at specific time, especially for those with conflicting schedules or other commitments. This rigidity can hinder the ability to accommodate diverse learning styles and paces, according to Brown, 2021. 3. Potential for disruption, 3.1. Classroom interruptions are common for traditional classroom settings. Physical classrooms attendants are often prone to distractions and interruptions, such as noise, behavioral issues, such as wars, climate change effects, such as floods, drought, and other environmental factors that can impede the learning process, according to Miller, 2018. 3.2. Health risks, such as COVID-19 pandemic, highlighted the vulnerability of face-to-face teaching to public health crises. The necessity for physical proximity increases the risk of spreading contagious diseases, leading to potential school closures and disruptions in learning continuity, according to World Health Organization 2020. Unfortunately, such health risks will increase in the future. 4. Inequity issues. 4.1. Access disparities in face-to-face teaching can exacerbate existing inequalities, as students from disadvantaged backgrounds may lack access to transportation, proper nutrition, or other resources that support effective learning, according to National Center for Education Statistics, 2020. 4.2. Digital divide during the pandemic proved that not all students have equal access to digital tools and stable internet connections, which are crucial for blended or remote learning models. This divide further widens the gap between different socioeconomic groups, according to Digital Equity Institute, 2021. 5. Adaptability challenges. 5.1. Resistance to change proved that the sudden shift to online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic revealed that many academics and institutions were unprepared to adapt their teaching methods and curricula to digital platforms. This resistance to change can hinder the adoption of more flexible and resilient educational models, according to Anderson, 2020. 5.2. Professional development has an important role to support academics to effectively integrate technology into their teaching practices, which can be time-consuming and resource-intensive based on the level of integration, according to Jones and Smith, 2017. 5.3. Mental health impact. The pandemic also underscored the mental health challenges associated with face-to-face teaching. The stress of maintaining safety protocols and the uncertainty of school operations can take a toll on both teachers and students, according to American Psychological Association, 2020. Monitoring for continuous improvement. Monitoring is a critical component of effective face-to-face teaching, as it involves the continuous observation and assessment of students' progress. Brown, 2020. This enables educators to identify areas where students may struggle and to provide immediate support or adjustments to the teaching strategy. The following elements work synergistically to not only impart knowledge, but also to foster critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and a deeper understanding of the subject matter. This holistic approach ensures that academics are not just about the transfer of information, but about nurturing the intellectual growth and development of each student, according to Dewey, 1938. The key aspects of monitoring for continuous improvement include: 1. Formative assessments. Regular formative assessments such as quizzes, discussions, and in-class activities help teachers gauge student understanding and adjust their teaching methods accordingly. 2. Feedback mechanisms. establishing robust feedback mechanisms allows students to express their learning difficulties and receive timely assistance, fostering a supportive learning environment. 3. Data-driven decisions. Using data from assessments and observations, educators can make informed decisions about instructional strategies and interventions that best support student learning. 4. Reflective practices. Encouraging teachers to reflect on their teaching practices and student outcomes promotes a culture of continuous improvement and professional growth, according to Williams, 2021. Let us reflect. This lecture explores the significance of effective face-to-face teaching and monitoring, emphasizing the benefits of direct interaction, real-time feedback, and personalized instruction. It also addresses the challenges of resource intensity, limited flexibility, and the potential for classroom disruptions and health risks. At this stage, what questions should we start asking ourselves? What comes to my immediate thinking is 1. How does the historical significance of face-to-face teaching from ancient civilizations, such as the methods used by Socrates and Confucian academies, inform our modern educational practices? Are there some differences and similarities compared to your own teaching practice in your classroom? 2. What are the key benefits and challenges of face-to-face teaching, and how can you balance these to create an effective learning environment? 3. In what ways can continuous monitoring and the use of formative assessments enhance student engagement and learning outcomes in a face-to-face teaching setting? Reflect in writing on these 4 questions using the Gibbs Reflective Cycle Guide, which will be shared with you in this module. Compile your reflection in the e-journal available within the e-learning platform in use in this self-paced online course. Share your reflections with your colleagues at work, and also share them on the Community of Practice space, which will be shared with you. In conclusion, this lecture explores the effective face-to-face teaching and monitoring, which are the cornerstones of a robust educational framework. By leveraging the rich tradition of direct interaction and personalized instruction, educators can create a dynamic, engaging, and supportive learning environment that caters to the diverse needs of students. Despite the challenges posed by resource limitations, rigid scheduling, and potential disruptions, the benefits of immediate feedback, personalized attention, and interactive learning experiences are invaluable. To navigate the evolving educational landscape, it is essential to embrace continuous monitoring and data-driven decision-making. By doing so, educators can adapt their strategies to foster critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and holistic development in their students. Ultimately, the goal of education is not merely the transfer of knowledge, but the nurturing of intellectual growth and the empowerment of each learner to reach their full potential. As we move forward, let us remain committed to refining our teaching practices, supporting our students' well-being, and fostering an inclusive and equitable educational environment. Your dedication and adaptability will ensure that we continue to provide high-quality education even in the face of unforeseen challenges. If you have any questions or challenges, please use the discussion forum named Questions and Answers of Module 4 to ask questions and answer other participants' questions as well. Thank you for your attention.